All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blue Ridge Silverhound. I'm your host, Sean, right over here. Hope everyone's doing well. On a side note, it's brown outside. The whole West Coast is freaking on fire. Man, I've never felt more worried than I do right now. That's for sure. With all the fires going on, I hope everyone who is on in the Western U.S., you guys are staying safe out there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But on a much more, I guess, interesting topic, we're going to focus on 2020 coinage. So we have the American Samoa Park quarter that's on screen here for you. It's not just any other American Samoa Park, although I think for this year and this year only, it's kind of gotten a huge exception because of what I'm going to talk about in this video. We'll also follow up a second video that I think you guys will find kind of thought-provoking. So make sure you stay tuned for that. It'll probably be uploaded either tonight or tomorrow. But 2020 coinage has been interesting of a topic enough that I think it deserves its own video. Now, West Point Quarters, which is the one that you see here, is something that has really caught the coin collecting world on fire last year. I distinctly remember these coins coming out. The very first release, the Lowell National Park, came out. The coins were selling like right off the bat for like $250 to $300, some even higher. It was just insane. Okay, with a small mintage of 2 million per design type, these are coins that are going to age gracefully. I would envision in about 10, 20 years. These coins will be hard to find in great shape out of change, if you could find them. I've already seen a whole bunch of dumpster fire quality coins on the secondary market that, we're already beginning to see that. But for this year specifically, the U.S. Mint added a V75, and based off of everything going on with Corona, it's really screwed up the production schedule for the release of not only the West Point quarters. We have 2 more remaining designs for 2020, and that's it. But in addition to all the other denominations, okay, pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, okay, and then so much so, since March all the way up to probably right around now, there is this crazy notion that there is a coin shortage. And as a result, the U.S. Mint is picking up production to ungodly amounts of coins, which, well, if you could kind of foresee like what's going to happen if they're trying to get and pump as much coin out into the commerce system, obviously they're going to have to what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to have to skip certain steps in the process. Okay, one of those steps is the quality control. So we're going to take a look at that here on the secondary market. What are these coins looking for, and why they are going to take over the throne of the West Point quarters for this year? Because guess what? I think we're seeing a lot of fatigue with this program. It's probably a good thing that the U.S. Mint and David Ryder have elected to do this year, and then something else completely different next year. Again, this is going to be a follow-up video that I think you guys will enjoy watching. All right, this is kind of like my brainchild, the wagon wheel in my head spinning when I come to talk about that, but it seems like it's not too far of a stretch. So West Point quarters are kind of going out of favor to a lot of collectors. These coins are selling for like $10, $20. They've plummeted right out of the gate. I would say after like 7 to 10 days, these coins were easily under $25. The fever pitch just isn't there like it was the same time last year. And there's a whole bunch of different things that you can point the finger to. Okay, the secondary market doesn't have nearly as much middle-class money to spend on stuff like this. Okay, especially if you're out of work. It's a little bit tough to throw money into second-rate collectibles like the West Point quarters, which is, I feel like, what that is. Furthermore, the dilution of the PCGS and NGC grading has suppressed the prices on those. All right, the coins that are worth the most amount of money are the first discoveries that you're able to take advantage of the PCGS bounty, and the high-grade top pop coins, your mid-state 67s, 68s of the world. Those are going to be the coins outside of the first discovery that are going to be worth a salt. But again, like I'm saying, these coins are going to age gracefully. Now, unless the U.S. Mint decides to pump and dump West Point products till it goes out of style, which, that could be a real case. It's just going to really kill the market for West Point coinage as a whole. So, the one thing that has kind of taken over the talking points of the 2020 coinage isn't so much the West Points anymore. Yeah, they're great. If you could find a cache of them, good luck. Production is through the roof. There's hundreds and hundreds of millions of each denomination being produced today. Your next best bet is going to be error coins. Like I had mentioned, okay, there's a huge drop-off in quality. You guys saw me break open a few rolls of the 2020 Salt River Bays, and they look horrible, all right? Which probably means that a top of the curve coin will be very expensive, all right? There's been a few National Park quarters from a few years ago that sold on Great Collections recently for $1,200 and $1,400 respectively. So that is still a market that appeals more to the registry set crowd than it does investors. Usually investors will stay away from that type of modern coins, but people still like them. They just don't like them as much. However, the ramp up in production for 2020 has opened the door to something else greater. No quality control equates to more errors. So what I did is I went on eBay. I went under U.S. coins. I kept it a broad, general kind of like, subcategory. And I typed in 2020 error. There are 3,181 results for 2020 error. That speaks volumes in itself. That number should really be higher with the amount of things that you can find on these coins. Now, I'm going to get to the most significant coins here momentarily. We're going to talk about the coins that sold, but I wanted to show you the amount of listings that are currently on eBay. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of like that new de facto, like, you know what? People are recognizing that there are a lot of errors that can be found on these coins because they're taking advantage of the lapse in quality control at the mint during this kind of catch-up period of making sure that there's enough coin in the commerce system. All right, so what I'm really interested in is what are some of the highest priced errors that people are asking for? I think, we got baseball cards in there. Not exactly what I was anticipating. We're going to go back into coins and paper money. Coins US. And like I said, I really want to see what the sold items are. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and scroll on down to the first significant listing. Now, this is an American Samoa National Park quarter struck through. Struck throughs have been one of those like aha moments in 2020 coinage. This one sold on July 21st, and the strike throughs that exist on these coins are insane. All right, now this one to a lesser degree, I think this is one of the earlier finds, and this one has been relisted, but you can see just a little void right there above the 2 L's in dollar. That's a strike through, either debris or hardened piece of grease. But on these coins, a lot of the strike throughs are going to appear on the reverse where the actual bat design is. So that was a bad example. But let's go ahead and scroll through all the American Silver Eagles until we get to. So here's one right here. 2020D. This one was on June 24th. Salt River Bay clad missing. It's missing the clad on the reverse. As far as I could tell, it weighs 4.7 grams, so it's a gram less than what it should be. Sold for $360. You're not going to find too many of these, that's for sure. But see the difference between the obverse and the reverse? That's pretty crazy. So that is one such coin that's being found out there. Usually you don't see stuff like that. So I would imagine that came from a roll. But let's go to the next one. Now here's one that's really interesting. This one sold on July 12th. And this one right here was actually sold by a close friend of the channel, Eric. This is his. This is a coin that was struck through with some sort of thread or wire on the reverse. And the pretty neat thing about this coin is that the wire wraps around the reeded edge and then onto the obverse of the coin. So it affected not only the reverse, where you're going to see a lot of like, it looks like spaghetti. All right, it's like your 3-year-old son drops spaghetti all over the floor. This is what it looks like when it's dropped all over the floor. But this is not a one-off case. Believe it or not, this has been showing up on quite a bit of the Weir Park National Quarters. Now, also keep in mind, this one is West Point. So this is a West Point coin. But these have also been showing up on Philadelphia minted examples as well, where we're seeing a lot of strike-throughs coming through the Philadelphia mint. Sorry, Denver crowd, we're just not seeing as much errors from you folks there on the West Coast. So that's the first kind of significant example. Here's another one right here that sold on June 17th. Without even clicking into it, you can actually see the thumbnail with some pretty sizable strike-throughs. This one sold for some sort of best offer, probably $100 to $150. Here's another one right here with a strike-through right on Washington's mouth. This is on American Samoa, West Point quarter. Here's a 2020 Philadelphia Lincoln cent that's been struck through a lot of grease. That's sold for quite a bit of money. I don't know how much. You guys could probably check it out on Watch Count or something. Let's see here. Here's another one right here. Another Lincoln cent. This one sold not too long ago. Right around a month ago. Probably sold for like $80 to $100. Brand new 2020. Struck through grease. Lots of grease. Lots of detail on that one. What is this one here? This is a Salt River Bay. And that's interesting. There's some sort of mark on the obverse. I don't know if that's a stain or if that's a legit error, but the pictures aren't really that good on that one. So, yeah, but you guys can do your research on these and find a lot of these on here. So here's a significant one that people are finding left and right. This is a 2020 Philadelphia American Samoa with a huge strike through on the reverse, right on that bat face. It looks it looks creepy with Halloween right around the corner. That's that looks that looks crazy. So this one sold end of the month in July for $77.88. And this is, not only that, it's got feeder finger damage right here on the left side of the bat when it's upside down, of course. But you have the strike through, you got the feeder finger damage. I mean, geez, this is these are prime examples of what's going on out there. Here's another 2020 West Point Weir Farm. This one has more of the spaghetti noodle strike throughs, and yeah, more strike throughs on American Samoa. Yeah, more of them. More strike throughs on the face. $65, $64. People selling quarters on the quarters. The brand new quarters are coming up with a lot of feeder finger issues, double profiles as a result of machine doubling. This is on another American Samoa, more strike throughs. Yeah, pretty crazy. So here's a Salt River Bay with some sort of strike through on the reverse. That is just crazy. Yeah, but there's something going on right here. Strike through. It looks like something long and thin. It might have been like a piece of wood debris or a piece of reeding that had fallen off, and that's a brand new one, by the way. The fourth design hasn't been released. It should be out here any time now, pretty soon. Look at this one. This is another Salt River Bay with a struck through of some sort of foreign material or debris right across there. I wish the pictures were better, but that's sold for shipped $44, which is just mind-boggling. Here's a American Samoa with the feeder finger, sold for $43 shipped. More feeder finger stuff. This one sold for just over $40. But you guys get the gist of what's going on here. And it's not just West Point quarters that's being affected. It's also Philadelphia quarters. Philadelphia is notorious for overproduction. And the trade-off being no quality control. Okay, it's been like that for years. It's more significant this year when there's been a lot of kind of buzz about there being a over 1 billion production for some of these coins, like the Lincoln cent. There's been some talk about a production of over 1 billion, which hasn't been seen in quite a while. And it just doesn't happen that often. But you can see all of the strike throughs on, especially the American Samoa. It's just insane the amount of coins. Minor and also major. And these are coins that are selling for so much more than the West Point quarters. So it's definitely right now in the conversation as being kind of like one of the big opportunity levels. And it's incredible. It's just kind of like the way things are just changing right before our very eyes. There's been a shift in the current modern collectibles market, and this is proof positive right here. You got 2020 Lincoln cents that are misaligned. I mean, it's insane. It sells for $30. That's a quick, easy $30. Here's another one right here. I don't know what's going on here. Strike throughs on this 2020 Lincoln. If you have access to these, which by the way, after talking to some banks, there's tons of 2020 out there. There is a bunch of brand new coins out there. Look at this thing. That's a strike through on a Lincoln cent. And it sold for $30. I mean, this is easy money. Easy money today. But if this is the way the whole year is going to be, I would imagine that there's going to be an influx of these out in the marketplace. And I don't know how sustainable it is, but this is kind of like the new money cash grab style of collecting for you roll searchers out there. I mean, look at this 2020 right here with this insane misaligned die, and it looks like it's even got a partial tilted collar also. A lot of things going on. So I wanted to bring this to your attention that, look at this, strike through debris with a little spaghetti in the front. Lots of stuff going on. It's crazy. But I wanted to bring this to your attention. For those of you out there that are simply searching your quarters at the prospect of finding the West Points, I want to let you guys know there's bigger money opportunities at work here. The errors, of course, is a huge deal. Okay, and then people, as long as they have money, will be buying this stuff up left and right. You just got to find it. Okay, the second one, which is more of a risk, it could be a calculated risk, or it could just be a straight up like gambling, put all the money on red type risk, and that's grading. All right, trying to find the highest pop grade for these quarters it's not for the faint of heart. because you are going to be spending money to make money. But anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you guys... Oh yeah, the brand new Salt River Bay with a feeder finger. It looks like rain in the background. Whew. I reported on that like a month ago. That is a crazy error. Crazy error. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and do it. I want you guys to stay tuned for my next like part 2 video to where I'm going with this that you guys will find interesting. So anyways, that's going to do it. I'm Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notification. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. Thank you much, and have a good day. All right.